So now we move on to the next part of the social, which is our two keynote presentations. Today's theme of the social is, as you know, modern methods of construction. We're going to kick that off with a presentation from Joseph Michael Daniels, who again is CEO and founder of Project Etopia. So Joseph, you should be free to share your screen if you want to take over. You've got 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time today. And I'm really interested to hear about the different layers of involvement that everyone seems to have and the approach on it. And I think, hopefully my job here today is to help you understand some of the top possibilities in the market. And that's what Etopia is. Etopia now has a presence on 4 continents and is the first universally accredited green building system by the World Bank. But actually we didn't do modular. We're an MMC, we are modern methods of construction, but we are also energy and we're also IoT. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a quick 3-minute short video. Then I'm going to segue into some slides. Hopefully I won't go through them too fast, and I've compressed them down to give you some information on really, the nuts and bolts of what we do and how it's different and how it applies to and how it applies.
Yes, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, just about to have a look at it.
Oliver,
so
if you can just
contracts, yeah.
Can everyone just mute, please, if that's all right? Oliver, I think it's yourself. If you press mute.
I don't think it's fully agreed. I think there's a couple of niggles.
Joe,
I need
You've got no authority here, Nikki Weaver. Oliver, can you press mute, please, mate?
I will do that.
I think, Joe, if you click his 3 dots, you should be able to mute him.
My apologies, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Lizzie. Sorry, Joseph, please continue.
That's all right, mate. These things happen. Look, this is the life of COVID that we live. We must be prepared to always be ready. So yeah, no further ado, I'm going to quickly share with you just a short video, and hopefully this will give you a feel for some of the stuff we're delivering and then break down what those components are. Now, please do say if you can't see the video and if you can't hear it, but I'm playing now. So it's official. Etopia have built some of the greenest, eco-friendly homes in the UK, if not in the world. Where a normal home will burn 6 tons of CO2 per annum, ours burn minus 0.7. So over a 25-year mortgage life, a normal home will inject 150 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, where ours will actually save 17.5. That means a total carbon saving of 167.5 tons. We calculated that that's the equivalent of taking a car off the road for 36 years or taking a Boeing 737 out of the sky for 1,861 hours. And not only that, where a new build energy efficiency rating averages out around about D, which is 60, our homes break the mold and come in at 105 beyond an A. Unlike most modular systems, we can build to any shape, any style, and any design. And that includes putting up a superstructure of a 3-story townhouse in less than 9 days. So we talk about green building, the future home standards, and garden villages, but what does it actually mean? Right now, we are one of the only companies building to this future standard already, the first truly eco-MMC company. So what we want to do is work with government, councils, builders, and developers alike to start building the future of the green communities and garden villages today. So that was our Corby site, and that Corby site, the site you see behind me, was the initial site we bought after I built a couple of schools. That video was recorded over, I believe, 12 months ago, and we've been on somewhat of a journey since then. And so I'm going to share with you now just some of the information on what makes an Etopia home do all those crazy things that you just saw. Pardon me. If I can find the PDF attachment, that will be lovely. I've gone from Teams to Chrome. Bear with me just 1 second, guys. My sincerest apologies. And we will do this. And hopefully you guys can now see my screen. So, Etopia. We're at the forefront of building an all-in-one housing solution. And how have we done that? What we've done is we've taken a different approach. We're not trying to build these houses in a factory. We're basically providing a super next generation kit of parts. So Etopia aren't a modular builder. Whilst we do provide modular buildings, we also provide schools. We also provide the digital planning through Gaming Engine. We also provide retrofit net zero technologies in a partnership with Samsung. And what that means is that Etopia are an ecotech company. We're not really prop tech. We're energy, construction, and IoT that combine to allow us to deliver and plan real estate. And so when Etopia was developed, we focused on key criteria. Etopia stands for economic and environmental utopia. Now, a utopia, of course, isn't really a feasible thing, but what will make something utopian? So first, we focus on affordability. We've built a house in Africa to replace a shantytown. We're building a house in Gloversville. We built a Ministry of Housing affordable house out in the Middle East. And we've built houses that are behind me, like in Corby, and private sites in Cambridge. Affordability means different things where you go. So we focus on our products being able to be integratable on the affordable spectrum. Scalable, we had to make it scalable. Etopia's interest is not to build 100 houses here and there. Etopia has a target in the next 10 years to build 100,000 houses per annum, and we're already on that journey. So our products are scalable, whether it's through our Samsung supply chain partner as a global leading partner that is partnered with us across the world, or whether it's the fact that we put up a 2,000 home production facility in 9 months. Sustainability. We look at sustainability across its core. I'm also the chair of Smart Construction of the UK Business Council for Sustainable Development, and I work in some advisory roles for companies working alongside the UNFCCC. And that's because we look at carbon in 4 ways. We look at embodied carbon, we look at operational carbon, we look at organizational carbon, and then we look at life cycle analysis. What does that mean? What is the impact over time? And then what we also do is we introduce recycled materials in a circular economic sense, such as one of our panels now includes a recycled plastic composite. So looking at true sustainability and its pillars. And then the most important one, which I think is missing, social acceptability or versatility. We shouldn't have to compromise our plans to have green infrastructure and beautiful architecture just because they're modules. We should be able to provide these in a way that allows design to also come paramount for social and economic values. And so Etopia, by combining the energy products, what do we focus on there? We have a global partnership, as I said, with Samsung exclusively in some areas, and that focuses on energy production, energy storage, and energy usage. That's PVT panels. It's also solar slate technology. It's energy storage in batteries and hybrid inverters for energy trading and smart metering for reduced tariffs. And it's energy usage. Our energy usage is 80% due to the nature of our engineering and building, lower than a conventional building. And then that comes down to what the construction is. So we've got our lungs and our organs. Now we look at the construction, the exoskeleton. We have the high lightweight structural panel system in the world. We have configured and put together a fabric that we were able to train 6 locals from a shantytown in Namibia that couldn't read or speak English to build a 63 square meter, 2-bedroom unit in 3 hours with no training. The air tightness on this product is 10 times that of building regulations or twice passive standard. And the U value is 0.13. So we're able to assemble these exoskeletons beyond passive extremely rapidly. Most importantly, they're structural to 80 tons where timber is 16. And that means that you can stack them, and it means it's structural. So this 185 millimeter lightweight panel provides us a super performing exoskeleton. So now we have an incredible exoskeleton beyond passiveness. We have incredible energy systems that include heating, ventilation, and cooling. It includes battery and solar. But now how do we truly understand the building? How do we move beyond just the person going in saying, well, the EPC is this and I believe your windows are that? We developed an IoT system that has now been, again, adopted by Samsung. And this IoT system enables for the retrofit and new build markets to compound simple architecture electronics. We have a wireless light switch. We have a blind that does auto shading and also provides ambient and social values. We have a lighting system. And we have a sensor that can pick up volatile organic compound, humidity, and temperature. And what this does is this harmoniously can speak together. And due to our hub, it speaks to all the existing devices. Yes, it works with Ring, Nest, Yell, you name it, because we work with Samsung to have it open integratable. So what that means is that from the base point of the building, we're able to energy analyze. It will speak to your smart meter, it will work with your smart tariffs, and it will drive 100% renewable energy. What it'll also do is give you the ability to say, hey, Isla, which is the name of the IoT device, set Netflix mode. Whilst it will bring the blinds down and it will change the Kelvin of lights and put your TV on Netflix, it'll also be ready to energy save when you leave your property. And so as a system overview, this is the compounded energy technologies in variants, depending on the selection of the building and the market penetration. The construction technology is panelized. We can build to brick. hey, we're actually we're building buildings now that people are putting brick slips around. Even though we can build hyper performing, it means that we can meet the vernacular, we can meet the style. And the IoT, it's integratable, it comes as standard. So it means that you don't have to stress. It means that we can get all these live energy performance results. And this has led to Etopia working with the World Bank and its EDGE Green Building Certification. And Etopia are confirmed to be the first residential single family unit provider of EDGE Green Build accreditation from the World Bank that is ESG funded, that saved 1% by doing nothing else than getting the accreditation on ESG lending. So our system provides results that allow us to convert those results into reduced lending from Lloyds Bank, whilst also getting approvals that are beyond an EPC with the EDGE Green Building. And so, performance overview. Our average EPC rating was 103. It's now 105 because one of our houses got 110. So EPCs are off the chart. They produce more energy than they use in most principles. But the ironic thing is that now we're getting to a point when we want to build affordable housing that we can plug into the likes of Octopus Energy with 100% net zero renewable tariff. And because of the smart management, we only use renewable energy, which means that we can either keep the capex cost low or work with the provider to max out the roof for solar. As an example of that, our house at BRE, the Innovation Park, produced 45 kilowatt hours of electrical energy and through solar in the summer months of August last year, but actually only burned 4.5 kilowatt hours for space heating, cooling, and hot water. So it really is, the energy now is in the hands of the providers. The construction is rapid. Our average house, if you go for an average 2-story house, is around 72 hours compared to normal construction. We've broken all fire molds, don't worry. We are resistant and we are tested across ICC in America, across EUCE, and across UCAS accredited bodies in the UK. And just to add some context to this, it's hurricane proof. Hurricane Irma was about 280 kilometers. Our panel can handle 472 and it's lightweight. It means it can be handled. And then the intelligence. I've mentioned this previously and we can't go on stress enough. We had Gavin Dunn, who is the chair of the Future Home Standard, come visit our site. And he said to me one important thing. He said, what you're focused on, whilst you have an amazing building material, and you have an amazing way of building modular buildings, you're focusing on IoT and the ability to take data or let the consumer use their data. And this was proven in the fact that we did some testing around one of our own passive buildings. So we haven't even done testing on retrofit just yet, but it's coming. That we were able to reduce the cooling effect required, which in a passive building you do need, and is being labeled by the Future Home Standard. By just shading through the smart system, we were able to reduce cooling effect by 4 degrees, but also amazingly at nighttime, we're able to retain 3 degrees of heat. And that's from using nothing more than a smart blind with a smart sensor speaking to our smart system that makes the house intelligent. We don't need to come into the combined value of markets, but it's to show that this is a bigger market than we can expect. And it's going to take a lot of us to solve this problem. And the current state of offsite, this is 2019 figures, we've been on a rapid curve. But it's important that we look at offsite, or if you want to call it panelized volumetric, 1.5 hybrid, it's important that we start to realize as a nation, which everyone is here for, that actually the traditional mechanisms aren't going to give us the results. I'm not going to go into the executive team, but I'm going to go into how we operate then. So it's like, wow, Joe, this is amazing. But what do we do? How is this modernizing industry? It just seems that you've got a lot of stuff. Well, here's a part of our program. Etopia Homes, we've been buying developments in the UK and across the world to develop private developments as a proof of concept. We've also been building custom buildings. We've got a 1.4 million LABC award-winning credible using our system. It's completely custom. But then where are we integrating and how are we integrating? Well, powered by Etopia is the ability for us to pass our technology into other people's supply chains. Yes, you get the best bits of us whilst using the best bits of your interiors. We just took a builder that was registered in 1954, that their last housing stock was a deficiency. And the site that they're delivering with us today has an EPC prediction of above 95. And their second site with us is already eligible for ESG funding, which is going to see a 1% increase in their gross profit margin just from integrating our product for a traditional costing. And then this brings us on to communities. We're currently working with a number of councils. We're working with the state of New York. We're working with a number of governments in the Middle East, and we're working with the Green Bank World Bank Green Institute Africa around communities planning. We've developed a gaming engine tool. Obviously, we have to plan these things. You've seen them all around. And so what we're now doing is we are helping plan and mass sites using our system to help climate change emergency for councils, to help sustainable planning development, and then attributing our system through Powered by Etopia for developers. And I've just broken these down. And in terms of our manufacturing capabilities, is that we already have 2,000 units at Ellesmere. We've got 200 down in Tiverton. As recently as last week, we expanded Tiverton to Exeter to 500 units. We're speaking with Bristol at the moment to scale to 6,000. And then, globally, Etopia are on a huge trajectory. We've already built in Africa with the World Bank. We've got a system registered in Asia. We're building 2 buildings in the Middle East this year. We're building with the state of New York this year. And we've already built in the UK and Europe. And what this is actually doing is something unique. rather than saying, well, here we have our UK codes and we have our America codes and the upstate New York codes and code, what we're doing is we're universalizing sustainable net zero outcomes. Each one of these buildings will be locally accredited, but it'll also have the same World Bank EDGE Green Build accreditation, which will make all of these buildings compliant for green ESG funding. And, you know I'm probably running out of time, Joe.
Yeah, 30 seconds, Joe, if you can wrap it up, mate.
Seconds. So we've been on an incredible trajectory. To date, as an organization, we raised over 39 million, been recognized as the UN's first net zero climate now initiative house builder. And we've been on a crazy journey. And in April of this year, next month, we'll be releasing a retrofit technology as well that combines our IoT with our air source heat technology and an energy tariff to start decarbonizing existing housing stock. And that leads to us tackling SDGs. That's the outcome here, is how do we drive leading outcomes here that will actually make impact? And so aligning with SDGs, no less than 9 that we address either directly or indirectly, allows us to not only implement as a technology, not only modernize and help people bring in technology, it helps us address global problems at the base point. And the base point is the place where all of us in the last 12 months have spent 95% of our time, our home. Thank you very much, Joe.